In we go. Awesome. So, let's see here. Let me just put up a little there we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Early morning. Normally plan B involves a staircase, but that'll probably get me demonetized. Oh, that's right. I need 1,000 subscribers for that. So I don't care. Hey, Mr. B. What's going on? We're So I decided this is going to be another TPOS2 play. Um, I had initially wanted to wait for my next play to do TPOS2, but um, I feel like we're getting closer to Solitude. Um, Now the last 2 days, Nesbitt's been a little more active, which means he's feeling better. Which is, obviously I and I'm sure everybody else, we want him to feel better. He's had a nasty I don't know if you want to say virus or cold or whatever. Something was going around, and he's had it for probably a solid 2 weeks. I guess it passed through the rest of his family as well, and it's just hitting him harder than everybody else. So, but the last 2 days he was actually online, and we got to talk to him for a little bit. He was in our server for just a bit. Um, so I am hoping he's feeling better. I talked to him earlier this morning. He put up some new screenshots of Solitude. He went back to work on Solitude already, which is great. Um, but again, my main concern is I just want him to feel better. The build can wait. I'm okay with that. I would 100% rather see him not put out that content and just have him feel better. But he is feeling better. He is putting out the content. What's up, Sonar? What's going on, Shane? Recipes for your food. Very cool. I did see that over in your server. At least I think I did. I was up real early this morning. My nap yesterday turned into, hey, we need 10 hours of sleep. So let's let that happen. Um, I was only supposed to take a nap, and then I felt bad because um, Wind and I were gonna go over her ini files for part of her game. She was having some bad pop in, and I know comparing what she showed me from some of them, some of the inis needed to be adjusted. And of course you know, I said after my nap because I was dead tired at that point, and it turned into me waking up at 2:45 my time today. So, um, so here's the thing. We're gonna go back. We're gonna do a TPOS2 setup. I'm at a very conservative 118 mods. That's gonna change. That's gonna completely change. I was trying to keep it around 250. What I was initially gonna do was a non-TPOS2 setup. I was gonna use the JK Skyrim, Dawn of Skyrim city combination, um, and then nothing else. Keep all the other cities and towns vanilla. I was going to add in interesting NPCs. I was going to add in a couple other mods that I would have been able to use but are not compatible with TPOS2. But even in chat earlier today, I'm like, I couldn't decide, and I know I'm gonna miss it. The second I start playing this character without it, I'm gonna miss it, and then I'm gonna have to obviously come back and change some stuff. Consider, yeah, well, that 118 is gonna look like 800 pretty soon, so or close. We're gonna try and break my computer. Um, and I'll tell you why. I don't have Noble. in here. I'm not going to be running Noble for this setup. You guys that have been to the last couple streams, you know it was a lot of testing, most of it being EMB stuff, and then testing the house mod, testing the armors, things like that, and then I'll have to switch. I'm not going to be running a grass. I'm just going to be going with cathedral landscapes. And then I'll add the grass in there, and we'll adjust as needed. I'll have to tune it down. I'll probably set it somewhere around 55 or 60 for the density. But so as much as I would have wanted some of the cut content from CRF, I like Whiterun mod. So it's obviously dependent on TPOS2, but you can't run cutting room floor. And I spoke to uh, Raven earlier. Well, this was probably yesterday about having the Whiterun mod as a standalone, not dependent on TPOS2. Um, that's not up to me. That's up to Nesbit if he wants to do something like that. Right now, it's dependent on TPOS2. Um, if he decides otherwise, yeah, absolutely, we'll put it out as a separate mod for people who don't want to use the full TPOS2 or even the partial, or well, any of them actually, and they just want the Whiterun mod itself. So whether that happens or not, again, it's not anywhere up to me. I go along with what the big guy says. You know, if he says no, my answer is no. If he says yes, I'll bring it over. Um, we're gonna get rid of cutting room floor again. I've seen the cut content so much anyway at this point. Like, you know, it adds some scenes in, it adds some other cut content. It changes the Nightgate Inn to Hell Urchin, a city, like a small town. No, it's not even really a town. It's a couple buildings and some NPCs. Um, we're almost never there. You're usually there for like one quest, and it's during the Civil War. If you really think about it, the only time you go there is collecting the message from the courier. That's pretty much the only time you're there. There's nothing else to do there. Oh, and when you go to kill the orc for the Dark Brotherhood quest, that's the only other time. But he's still there without CRF anyway, so it doesn't matter. So we're gonna remove cutting room floor, and that's gonna give me another message here. I should have a couple. Um, Winter Sun patches. Okay. So let's take care of that now. I don't like to let things linger. I do not ever like seeing this notification. There should be nothing here. When you're ready to play, this should be grayed out and you can't access it. That's the way it should be. Things should not linger. Um, but it is going to linger because I am going to add Hunterborn into this play. So this character will be doing, well, he's a Bosmer. We're going to be doing a moderate green pact style. So let me see. Oh, let me just see. Did I have? Oh, I do have. I have some stuff here, but I have to turn this down because I had this up a little higher. Okay. All right. Winter Sun patches. Let's reinstall this. So we want the unofficial patch. We'll take Legacy. We're gonna take Hunterborn, and I'm gonna add in Ori, Song of the Green. She'll be added in. So that should drop my one patch to want to replace it. So Hunterborn should be the only one that's here. Yep, because we haven't added it yet. The add-on to Hunterborn Sonar, huh? Let me write that down. Give me 1 second here. Hunterborn and... Now, what exact... I mean, I can check it out now, but what exactly is the add-on? Let me see here. Scrimshaw? Hunterborn SC MCM. Well, I'll worry about the MCM later when I get to Hunterborn, because you obviously it's got no base game requirements. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. I probably won't be using half of this stuff. It's not going to be a total crafting character. He is going to do crafting. This is my first character that I'll be doing any type of crafting with manually without using Hone Metal. Hone Metal's still going to be in there. Because you never know, I may have an option. But I don't plan on doing any enchanting at all. I think this character may run through its entire play without having any enchanted gear. Including, you know, armors, weapons. However, if I find a ring or a necklace or circlet that's already enchanted, yeah, then I'll use that. Just turn that down a little bit. Put it at 2. I've used Scrimshaw before. I used this on console. It's take it or leave it. You know, it's. I really don't think I'm going to be using anything for it, the armors or whatever. I'm going to be using armors from Immersive Armors, and then I already have some armors picked out. But, who knows? I may throw it in there for the hell of it. I don't know. It's a possibility. Let's see. Yeah, because it adds the armor sets. So obviously following the Green Pact, he's only going to be doing certain types of alchemy. Alchemy may not even be something I perk. I don't believe he's going to use a lot of magic, possibly just restoration. He's basically going to be a combat archer, and he'll either use swords or axes. I haven't really decided, and nor have I decided if the melee is going to be one-handed or two-handed. He very well could go with the buckler and a sword or axe, or just go straight two-handed, because I know with the Bosmer armors, and well, more specifically the Green Pact armor, which is, let me see here. This one here. So I've used this one before. You need the Bosmer armor pack, so I would, even though it's added through something else, I'd still have to add this actual mod in to get this, right? So this does give you bows, this gives you swords, this gives you a bunch of other stuff. With the Green Pact also, you have some custom stuff. This would probably be his end game gear, because it adds in a couple ingredients, bones and things like that, to craft the weapons and the armor. It's actually pretty hard because of the drop rate. But it looks damn cool. I mean, it's the same as the Bosmer armor, but it's, you know, it's got the green and the gold, and then obviously the bow, the shrine to Y'ffre, which is the ruins outside of Falkreath. It basically turns that into the shrine. Spriggan's still there and everything like that, and there's some other stuff, but you can see, you know, swords. There's swords, daggers. If they look familiar, they should, you know. There's the armor. We got 9, and so that's the greatsword, which I like. But I don't know. Like I said, he's going to be a combat archer, so if I start thinking in terms of, well, what's he going to use up close melee? It really should still be the bow, right? If you think about it. He's not going to be a sneak archer. I'm sure he'll still get some shots in from, you know, a sneak position. But, he'll be, you know, basically kiting around the battlefield. Great Sword of the Green Pact, yeah, right there. And I thought that would be a nice model to use. We're gonna use, obviously XPMSE. So I'm going to use the belt fast and quiver as part of that. I want that down a little bit lower. I think that's a little more realistic considering he'd be kind of grabbing it off the side to knock his arrow to let loose, as opposed to, reaching over the back, and it's, not as realistic. Um, Although it's always portrayed this way. Uh, I like the Belfast and Quiver style. It's just you know, my personal preference. Um, Now I also thought about dual daggers. This is very unique. If you recognize the design, you probably should. This model has been used in a couple other weapon packs, under a different name, and the textures have been a little bit different. The arrows would look like the Nordic arrows or the ancient Nordic arrows, obviously with the green and brown theme to them. And the arrows are actually pretty custom. So this, like what you're looking at here, is possible end game gear, right? Okay. And I keep forgetting that that's off. Sanctuary. Let's turn that at 2. All these keep changing on me. Um, but yeah, that's, and then obviously the Bosmer armor pack would be something else. Uh, you know, whether he has a follower with them or not, I would assume, if it's Ori, she'll be geared up like him too. Obviously, both archers. I think I'm leaving Inigo off of this play. I'm gonna leave him off. So let's just see here. Ah, I see Nesbitt's posting. Okay. So these are from the Solitude mod. You can see what he's been adding in. A couple pictures. He has some on his own. So if you recognize this this style edition, it's where you'd find Vittorio Vici in Solitude. When you come off the docks would be over this way, and the walkway too, and then coming this way behind me would be the East Empire trade, the warehouse. But it fits, definitely fits. Or maybe this is his edition. Maybe this is exactly where it's at, and he just removed certain things here. He very well could have removed all this. So I don't know, but it's pretty cool. So we'll have to see. Still probably a ways away. Feindal. Feindal will be used. So here's why it's such a tough decision for me, right? I really wanted to use interesting NPCs because there's a few in there that I felt like would have fit. But interesting NPCs is not compatible with TPOS2. Just purely off the size of the mod, meaning the additional NPCs that mod adds in. So if you topple that on top of Nesbitt's, plus some of them are wandering, plus some are placed out into the world, you have to discover them, and his edits are in the same spot, you can't do it. So so that's initially why I wasn't going to do a TPOS2 setup. I was just going to stick with Dawn of Skyrim and JK's. They'll leave everything else alone. Hey Vixie, welcome. Good morning. And I'm still kind of torn as to, do I want to do it? And you know what'll happen? I won't do it, and I'll be really happy with the play in the beginning, but then I'll miss all the TPOS2 content. Then if I do the TPOS2 content, then I'm missing out on interesting NPCs. And then of course, Nesbitt will give me a thumbs down on the video every single time. Possibly multiple times. He's a wizard. He'll be like, not using TPOS2? Not talking to you for another week, Magus. That's exactly what he'll say. But yeah, we'll do a TPOS2 setup. I guess what I'll do is maybe I'll pick out some of the NPCs from interesting NPCs and add them in myself. Hoth Sonar, huh? Hold on a second. You said he was separate, wasn't he? Hold on a second. Oh, he is. Any requirements? Okay, none. Wow, I did download him before. Okay. Where does he stay? Let's see. I think he's out in the wild, isn't he? The only companion generates quests for the players dynamically through the details. I know who he is. I know pretty much this. He's located outside Falkreath, isn't he? If I remember putting him in my load order, but I just remember not using him. Mortal? He's in the inn? Okay, cool. Yeah, alright, well we'll do this then. Let's get hot. UFO compatibility. Which I won't need. Okay. Yeah, we'll load him in. Wow. Come back over here. Hoth. Cool. Alright. Where do I have followers? I won't tick him yet because I'm trying to go through this. So basically, here's the setup, right? Aside from my UI stuff, which is pretty standard, I went back to Dear Diary. Okay, so no more of like the real custom UI. I'm going to be using Dear Diary for my stuff. Main menu replacer, the theme song, I'm not going to go custom with that. I'm just going to let Dear Diary handle everything. As far as audio, so audio overhaul plus immersive sounds, I added both them back in. Sound hammering sounds, so you don't get the metal sounds on the wood. Okay. It's the only other thing. I went with the Celtic music in Skyrim. This may change. I've been using the Fantasy Soundtrack Project almost exclusively. I would normally add Vindsvept music in, but I listen to it because it's the only music that I really have on this PC, and we're listening to it now, so not that I'm sick of it, but I don't want to be hearing it in my game. I'd rather be hearing something else. I thought about leaving the music alone and just listening to Skyrim music. And then when I loaded the other three music mods, is it Hunlovas? I think one's called Skyrim Music. There was issues with them not looping, like not playing, you know, and so I took them out one by one, and then even with the last one, there was only one music mod in, and it still wasn't playing properly. So I got rid of all three, and I went with Celtic music. So we'll stick with that for now. If something better comes along, maybe I'll add it in, and I'll take this. I'll take Celtic music out. But for now, that's the one that's going on. Sticking to my play. Normals here. Enhanced texture detail, static mesh, ruins, clutter. So high poly project. This was added in. It is required for the 20 series mods, which are right here, 18, 19, and 20. I am not using Noble. I'll be using these instead. It's obviously much larger than Noble, and it covers a lot more. But we're going to be overwriting that, and you guys probably saw that with the Solstheim landscape overhaul, Dawnguard landscape overhaul. And then I threw the usual suspects in, Soulcairn and Sovngarde HD for those particular places because these two mods are fantastic for them. And then I wasn't going to do any secondary textures, except for, I think I started with Cathedral Snow. Then I went back and I installed Underground. I installed Skyrim, the High Hrothgar Steppes 3D, Matthews, CC's Mines and Caves, Skyline Imperial Forts and Dungeons, Rudi Nordic Ruins. So we're kind of going all out. What's going on, Mike? Good morning. Coffee is abound. Except for me, I'm already done with my second pot of coffee, and I have moved on to alternating between soda and water. I will make coffee this afternoon again. Yeah, let's break it. Let's see how much. Let's see how far I could push my GPU, right? Yeah, my initial goal was to do a non-TPOS2 light load order, um, 250 mods or less. That's including the patches. And then of course I get into chat today, and well, the real thing is I couldn't make up my mind of what I wanted to do. Like I said, I really wanted to use interesting NPCs, but being that it's not compatible with TPOS2, um, it's kind of a no-go. Um, if anybody has another recommendation for followers besides Hoth and possibly Ori, um, from Song of the Green, let me know. The character is a male Bosmer. He'll be a green pact Bosmer. Um, Not 100% traditional to the green pact, mind you. He still won't be picking the plants, which I'm gonna have to try my damnedest not to do because it's so hard to go past the death bell and not pick it. Um, but we can buy alchemy ingredients, and what I'm thinking of adding in is just sky toxins and leaving it at that, so he can use some poisons. Now he's gonna get because it's the home mod, he's gonna get arrow crafting, and he'll be able to poison them that way. Well, see, what I did, Sonar, is most of these are 4K now. The ones that have the 4K option. And then I went with Majestic Mount. I actually did swap Majestic Mounts. That was the other thing. Um, so these are no longer the dark side. These are it's the normal file, right? And everything else that has a 4K option is 4K, with the exception of creatures. Some creatures will be in 4K, others won't. Um, some just don't have the option for it. Some do. And that I won't be going ridiculous with like small things that say, oh, 8K, 16K. No, no, fuck that. 4K or less. Um, music here. All right, let's go back. Let's see what else. So obviously the enemy, my enemy, and I added Almeri Dominion Strengthened. Join the Thalmor. So this is interesting. You guys on console and myself, I've used this one. Uh, um, yeah, this is the you can only do this if you're a Altmer, uh, Khajiit, or Bosmer. Any race that's part of the Aldmeri Dominion can do this quest. And the other quest I was gonna do was the Second Great War. I was gonna add it in anyway. I know there's some restrictions and some stipulations to doing the quest, starting the quest, having certain things done. I've read the description a couple times. I'm still 50-50 about it. Because I don't know, like, I'm going to be live streaming this play. So, I don't know. Is that. Is that Skeletor? Hey, Skeletor. I don't know how I'm going to be getting to it, but this one I definitely want to do. We are gonna join the Dominion. Which is, the antithesis of everything I normally do. I usually kill the High Elves and the Thalmor at every chance I can. But this time, you know what? We're gonna have some fun with it. We're gonna go in the opposite direction. It'll be interesting, right? Um, Obviously Legacy's in there. I'm not playing without Legacy. It's almost not even worth playing the game without that in here. But yeah, I did add these other ones back in. The normals that you usually see in my game. Underground, T4Gs stuff, CC stuff. Um, Rudy HQ is Nordic. His Nordic ruins are still by far the best. And I did a comparison really early this morning when I added this in against what the 20 series textures added in. And while they look really good, because they do cover dungeons, forts, mines, caves, what else am I missing? The Dwemer stuff, right? Um, Rudy's Nordic Ruins are still by far the best. He's a tier above anybody else that's ever done a Nordic Ruins mod, in my opinion. They're just better, and the add-ons are better. But we'll be overwriting that with High Poly Project. Which I wasn't really a believer of until I added it in and I really saw what it did. But we're going to be dropping this down lower, and according to Nordic and all the other guides, because you see everything that's overwriting it already. More stuff will overwrite it as time goes on, but then we're using Cathedral Snow, and I believe, let me just check the file tree. This should have landscape. No, it doesn't. Okay. Effects, food and sleep, trees. So there's no roads. Dirt snow path. Let me see here. Snow landscape, snow 2, snow. Okay. So no snow roads with this one. And with Cathedral landscapes, I did choose the option for blending, I guess it's called. I forget the actual name of it. I took that option just because I want to make sure everything's as seamless as possible. Matthew's Trees is making a return. Yes, it is. Matthew's Trees. We're going to go EVT. I'm basically going to take the Vanilla Plus options, so it's not too crazy. We're going to add in Matthew's Trees and every tree different. And I'm still on the fence about adding Langley's Bark in, because every tree different's bark is actually pretty good. So it should be it's going to be a pretty rough setup. But I'm not using a grass mod. So there is that. Which begs me to ask the question, do I still need landscape fixes? So we're going to do a test with it. We're going to do a test without it. Right now I don't have either installed. So the tests you saw were literally just Cathedral landscapes. No grass, no landscape fixes. I think the landscape fixes will help. Without having the grass any, I'm going to have to manually add that myself, because the density of Cathedral landscapes, the grass that it adds in, is going to have to be lessened. So I'm going to have to add that in manually. So my any editor here, as you can see, the additional 4 lines that normally I'll put in there aren't there yet. We'll see what happens when I generate my LODs with Dynalod, but as of now it's not there. So I'm okay with that. As we march, let's see. Alright, there it goes. Obviously Astral Aspect. So we did 4K. Stunning Statues. These are in 4K. Ren Shrines. I believe Ren Shrines are only 2K option, but I have all them. Stallroom Source is 1K or 2K, so that's 2K. And then, let's see. The Enemy of My Enemy. We are sticking with Ordinator. Again, I was tempted to use, and I want to ask you guys if you think I should swap from Ordinator to something like Adamant and Mysticism. And let me I'll pull them up for you. So Adamant, a perk overhaul. This is by Simon in our server here. Simon's in several servers, and I've heard nothing but good things. I did use this, and I like this much better than Valkyrie. I know E-Knight posted about Ordinator the other day in our server, saying even he doesn't really care for Ordinator anymore, but I'm so used to it I really have a hard time switching. Adamant would be my next choice. I'm really not familiar with it. I've only play tested it a little bit. But I like having the additional perks of Ordinator for choice, and it makes gameplay a lot more fun. However, I mean, like I said, I'm on the fence about this. I'll add Busty Were. Do we have Busty Werewolves here? I doubt. I think that's console only. More Wicked. Mighty. Nah. I'm gonna have to get TLS to send me a special file for that, so I could add that to Nexus. Well, it's gonna be mail anyway, but you know. So Adamant. Adamant has a hard requirement of mysticism, which is the magic overhaul, also by Simon. Right. And it's got a couple patches for mods if you're using it. This spell pack is actually pretty good. I like the spell pack over the perk overhaul, by far. So if you're looking for a really good spell pack, mysticism. Like I said, this character's probably not going to be delving into magic too much. Which is why I kind of want to just stay with the old, you know, Ordinator, Apocalypse, Forgotten Magic, set it and forget it, leave it alone. Because I'm intimately familiar with pretty much everything in all those. I could get Requiem from Lover's Lab, couldn't I? I mean, I can get Requiem technically from LE. What's going on, second? I can get here. Let's do this. I can get Requiem from here. If it's still here, it should be. The role-playing overhaul. I could take it right from LE and convert it over to SE and throw it in my game if I want to. What are the requirements for it? DLC, bug fixes, Sky UI. I'd have to convert this. That shouldn't be a problem. It's not that large a file. It's 320 megabytes. Does not support save game updates from 2x, blah, blah, blah. I may have to do some tweaking, but is it? No, it's not BS8 up. Awesome. Scripts, there's a ton of shit here. Yeah. I mean, I could convert it if I wanted to. But if it's already on its way and it's going to be ported soon, I'll wait, because that's less work for me to do. Second heard Busty Werewolves, then he pop started into the chat. Second, what do you think here, bud? Adamant and Mysticism or Ordinator and Apocalypse? I'm curious. Well, and anybody else that wants to weigh in on this, what you guys think? Because I actually have Adamant and Mysticism loaded on my Xbox right now, right? So when I go in and I do testing, that's what I have. So the problem I have is, I mean, he didn't put too many images up, and it's really hard to tell because you can't see up close with the perk tree. The 0 of 5 for the first perks, I was never a fan of that. I feel like each perk in here should only be 1, maybe 2. Have more of them, but don't have like 0 of 5. You know, I mean, to me that's tedious. Have more perks, like something else to choose, but scale it appropriately, which is what Enai did. Um, Having said that, it's still solid, and that would be my only gripe with it. And of course, I can't create something like that, so tip my hat to Simon for that. Because the only undertaking I've done in that department is magic, and I've gotten a ton of spells to work. I just haven't packaged them together yet, so it is what it is. Too many other things going on. What's up, Will? Good evening. Did Enai make? No, Valkyrie is the last one I know of. If he did an even lighter version than that, I don't know. I don't think so. He just said in our server the other day that even he doesn't care for Ordinator anymore. He said he feels like it's obsolete. Which of course I disagree with because everybody uses it that I know of. Or they use Valkyrie. They use something by him. The only reason why I'm showing Simon's mods here is because Simon's mods are an absolute alternative to what Enai's doing. The problem is both are freaking solid, so it's hard to choose. I think for now I'll just stick with the Ordinator, who created Simon Magus. He's in our server here. He's where is he? He's probably got a away message up, or he's not on. Is he on? I don't know. I think he's over in Sons of Skyrim too. He has his own server, from what I'm aware of. Yeah, Simon Magus right here. He's looks like he's offline right now. So he's the creator. So Adamant is his perk overhaul, right? And I'll open up his page I want to give him a little bit of a promotion here so you guys can see. He's got 3 files right now. So Adamant, Mysticism, and Aetherius, a race and Standing Stone overhaul. So this is like Imperius plus Andromeda in one. Um, it's it does well for endorsements as far as the game being 10 years old and people liking it. Requirements: the bastardized race mod. He goes into everything. So like Altmer, major skills are plus 15 for illusion, minor are plus 10. Highborn, your Altmer blood gives you an extra 50% magicka regen. Seer Bane's boon, high elves are born with 50 more magicka. So you already start with the 50% magicka regen. You can see he tweaks. It's like Imperius plus his own, or he'll tweak what Enei did, and I believe the two of them worked together with this, or he got a lot of his ideas from Enei's mods, and then he made his own. I mean that's my understanding. If I'm wrong about that, you know, then I'm wrong. Ultimately, is it available only for SC? Let's find out, because I don't know. Let's go to LE. It said he only had 3 files, so I'm not sure he ported this back to. Nope. Mysticism of the Lost. That's not his mod. That's something different. Yeah, so it looks like it's only on SE. I'm assuming, Will, you're playing on Legendary Edition. Yeah, Aetherius is really good though. So like if I decided to use this, my Bosmer, the clan folk of the Western Valenwood Forest, also known as Bosmer, Wood Elves make good scouts and thieves. There are no finer archers in all of Tamriel. They have a natural resistance to poisons, and are faster and more nimble than other races. Which begs me to wonder, because the way they calculate. Hey, what's up, Tim? Um, excuse me. The way they calculate your speed in the game, I thought was due to character height and race height specifically. If you remember, and you guys that watch Major Slack know that um, a lot of his characters were Altmer because they're taller, meaning faster. A male Altmer is technically the fastest running, walking character in the game. So whether this was tweaked or not and adjusted, I don't know. But let's see. So my Bosmer, if I decided to go with like, Simon Rim, we'll take Adamant, Mysticism, and Aetherius instead of Enei's mods, right? Major skill will be archery. Obviously, we're a combat archer, so that's perfect. Minor skills: light armor, lockpicking, one-handed, pickpocket, and sneak. Awesome. So I would make use of light armor, possibly one-handed. I really wouldn't make use of lockpicking, pickpocket, or sneak. He's not going to be a stealthy thief or assassin. He's going to be a wood elf, combat, archer, dragonborn. You tried SC, but oh, damn. Really? What if you don't mind me asking, what are you running on? Like what kind of what GPU? And is that something you were planning to upgrade? I guess would be my next question. I think the main reason a lot of people stick with SE is mainly for stability. Obviously, the mod support favors LE still. ATI Radian. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% familiar with a lot of ATI stuff. Sonar might be. I've only compared a few, and it was really when I was about to make my purchase of my parts to make my build here. But LE you can run perfectly fine, right? CPU's an Intel Core 2. But so LE I'm assuming plays perfectly fine for you though, right? And did we go to the next? Yes, we did. See, now the more that I'm looking at it, the more I kind of want to the more I kind of want to add them in. I'm just so used to, you know, when you get in that nice routine of things that you like, and even if you try something, you may like it, but you still go back to your old favorite, the old comfortable, you know? I'm kind of like that. Whereas I like to try a shit ton of stuff, but then I always go back to what's comfortable for me. So LE plays better for it? Yeah. I think you, sir, are due for an upgrade. Don't let me influence you. No, I know how that goes. I was without a computer since like 2002, 2003. And not a gaming rig either, like any. I had a base laptop that's, you know, that was used for uh, like taxes, email. That's about it. Um, and most of the gaming I've done since like that era, like from graduating college to last year, was all console based. Before that, when I was in high school, I was like heavily into computers, but then it was, you know, HTML coding still. So you could obviously see, like, I'm 40 years old, so there's been amazing advancements since I've had anything like that. I'd say it's just like buying a car. You pay for what you get, or you get what you pay for. I'm saying things. I'm mentally thinking dyslexic today in my brain. Um, and definitely do your homework and shop around, because also the most expensive isn't necessarily the best. Like in my case, I got my GPU for under 380 bucks shipped. RTX 2070, and that was a year ago. So I don't know what they're going for now. I think it's probably around the same price, but probably later this year I'll be looking at like the 2080 Ti, or if something else comes out that's better, I'll look at that. Um, that's still a long ways off. Right now I'm happy with what I have. Yeah, money for me too, dude. Money's short for me. The job that I was supposed to go to, I was hired. Well, here's the skinny of this. I was hired for a job since the one that I was working screwed me over because of with all the medical stuff. So I have like medical restrictions of stuff I can lift, and they were throwing me through so many loops. Um, they screwed. I was supposed to be on workers' comp just to get the procedures done, and then I would have already been back to work. But the service manager that I was working for shouldn't have been in the position he was in, and never filled out any paperwork. I didn't sign anything. He never brought anything to me. And at my request, I told him, I said, like, you need to like fill out the paperwork. I need to sign this. You need to send this to HR. He never did, and then they just made it a living nightmare since then. Um, so then I wound up leaving on like January 30th. Um, I was hired like the next day to be a manager for a parts store at like it was like $3 or $4 more. But because of my lifting restrictions, they said they couldn't do it. So sucks, but what can you do? Oh wow, Will, that's awesome. That's really cool. I have friends that practice. I forget what the term for it's called. Not styles. You know what I'm talking about. They practice certain disciplines. I think is that the word I'm looking for, right? But nothing like a master. That's really cool, dude. So yeah, so I don't know. We'll have to see. Um, because he won't be using magic, and I mean, for a character he's only going to be using some basic restoration. I could go one of a couple ways. I always put Forgotten Magic redone in my setup, even if I don't really use it. It's one of those mods. It's 9.5 MB, but it does so much. There's 36 spells. Um, but it's only compatible with Ordinator. I think it has a patch for Ordinator and Apocalypse, right? So I don't know how it would be. I think it's fine standalone. It just you don't get the same XP bonuses that you do. Um, I think I'm gonna stick with Ordinator. I don't know. I don't know. I'll come back to it. If I change my mind, I'll change my mind. We'll have to see. Yeah, no noble for this. Um, Cathedral Snow, Stunning Statues, the Shrine, Red Shrine, Stalrim Source, Legacy's in there. The Enemy of My Enemy, so Nesbit's Quest mod. Although it doesn't really make sense because if I join the Aldberry Dominion, I don't know if I'd even be able to do this quest. Uh, but I have it in there for the hell of it, so we'll leave it in. And it doesn't affect anything else. It doesn't. There's one area edit to Northwatch Keep, and it's literally a portal to a different world space. That's not going to break anything, so we'll keep it in there. Trade and barter, and then obviously Ordinator, Andromeda, Winter Sun. Winter Sun's pretty much my favorite mod right now. It has been. Um, I almost can't play this game without Winter Sun. And obviously you see I need the Hunterborn, I need Hunterborn for this patch. What we'll do is we'll install Hunterborn, we'll reinstall, or we'll move the patch down. Because I don't know what else I'm going to be doing. So here's another change. No more enhanced blood textures because of EMB. For those goddamn squares that you keep seeing. And I thought that it was due to an older version, the older binary of EMB, but it happens so much that I had to get rid of it. So I went with Better Blood Spatters. This is from LE, all it is textures, right? Gore Cap, which I always have in, and then SC more Bloodshed. So we'll run that combination. Plus it's a lot lighter, you know. I've used both I've played both Carve Brink and AHO. Yep, both of them. You'll notice Growl is in here because we are, which is against the Green Pact, but I never said it was going to be 100% Green Pact. And it's a goddamn fun mod. Cathedral Weathers and Seasons. Because I've decided we are using the new NVT EMB. So, ooh, this was done the other day. Wow. Sorry, this was done the other day, and I did some testing, and a lot of you guys were here for this. So Fireman AF finally released this. This is the latest by him. He's also updated all of his binaries to 406, or almost all his binaries to 406 for Cathedral. I can't tell you how nice this looks. You have to see this for yourself. If you like Cathedral Weathers, but you've been using semi-realists, use NVT. Try it. Take a look. The fogs that it added, I was highly impressed with. The clarity on clear days is 2 to 3 times better than semi-realists. There's no FPS hit for either of those, but it feels like it runs smoother with NVT. And I think they're about the same file size. I could be wrong on that, but I want to assume they're somewhere between 17 and 19.6 megabytes. And I went back and forth, and I was gonna just stick with semi-realist, but then I'm like, well, no, let me give this a chance. And then I started seeing the different weathers. It was pretty good. 409. Oh, he updated again. Get out of here. Hold on a second. Really? What's in 409? 406, 408. Added motion blind. Boris, you beautiful bastard. I love you, but I'm not updating. We're keeping it 406. For now. Alright. And anyway, this was Junal's playlist, his mod list. So I will be picking and choosing certain things off here and certain things I'll be leaving off. We'll be going back and forth. Yeah, we did. We just updated. 406 was, the other day. Yeah. Every internet guide to the shop. Yep. Well, I don't know. Were you with us in the stream when I did when I was showing the home mod for it? See, the only thing now I need to figure out is if it's going to be compatible with TPOS2 edits into the same area. I don't think so, but I'm not sure. So we'll have to see. I'm going to keep it in because the home mod is absolutely stunning. The Lee's Drill. This is Eleonora's Bosmer-inspired treehouse. So we know technically they live in the trees. The trees are the homes, but due to game limitations, it's not really possible. This one, however, is fantastic. But this was an LE mod, so I had to convert this over. So we're going to be running with this. I'll probably be, to be fair, I'll probably be taking General Sam out. So I don't think you'll get to see him in my place, Soner, but you can enjoy him because he is up on Nexus right now. So, and then obviously AFT is gonna go. I like EFF. That's my favorite. So I'll be running EFF. And these are the weapons I also converted over. The contractor armor, I probably won't use. I just did this to have it for SE for another character later on. Mirheim. That sounds familiar. Why does that sound familiar? For my Altmer Hunter as my home. Let's see what I'm trying to do here. Alright. let's get to some of this stuff here. So we'll take the saves. These are the saves I did some of the testing on. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to ditch all these. Delete. Okay. We're also going to delete AFT. We're gonna keep Hop in, so Sam's gonna go. It would have been pretty cool to do like a parody play with Sam, and I may do that in the future. But obviously for this particular play, obviously he's more for having fun. He's a damn good follower, by the way. Just I'll be laughing too much at his comments the whole time. That's that's the only problem. And I'd rather get more immersed in the actual gameplay than hear him say how he's gonna finger blast Isolda. So as funny as that is, every time I hear it, it's hysterical. So we're gonna remove these. No, not cathedral. What the hell? See, it does this all the time to me. Get out of here. No. Just this. Right. Are we good? We're good. Cool. Downloads. Alright, so no cutting room floor. Delete that. Let's go back up to downloads. The contractor armor. I'll leave it here for now. I doubt, like I said, I doubt I'm going to be using it. Let's go back here. What else am I doing? Forgotten Veil ice textures. Yep. Because I love these. Pull that back up. Up one more category. Bam. It's overriding Dawnguard. Okay. Which means we could probably put it right there. Make it a little bit closer, right? Like to keep them nice and close. Cool. Let's see what else is on my list. So no cutting room floor. TPOS2's Whiterun add-on. And let me show you that real quick. It is not compatible with cutting room floor. And I don't know if I have to search it this way or search through Nesbit's page because sometimes it doesn't show up here. We may need to. Yep, we're gonna have to. Okay. Yep, search, come on. There we go. Alright, where is it? Enemy by enemy. Riverwood Grove. We'll be adding these in here. This is the one I'm gonna talk to him and see if we can get this Whiterun mod to not have a TPOS2 dependency. For people who want to use the walls, but they don't want to do a full TPOS2 setup. This one here, Whiterun. Okay. So requirements. You need the people of Skyrim too. Okay. Where is it? Posts. There are yeah, so I Avsicom. This is a while ago. When was this? Last year? August of last year. Um, there's area edits to right outside of Whiterun. Thornrock, yeah. That's on LE still, I think. It's possible backports of vanilla armors replacer mod. Let me see. By Quinn, the vanilla armors and clothes. And I also see CBBE, HDT, high polygon vanilla armors and clothes, CBBE. It's this top one, right? I've never backported anything, so I'm not the person to ask for this. If you're talking about this one, needs UMP textures. Unless I'm thinking of a different mod. Let's take a look at the images. These ones here, right? Made by Nordbar. Um, Again, I'm not the person to. Alright, this is by Quinn. Well, let me search Nordware then. And we'll see. This one here. I have this in my console. Nexus requirements, weapons, armor, clothing, clutter fixes. Which you guys have on LE. You don't technically need it, but some keywords. The armors are for WACCF. Um, as far as a backport, um, you definitely have to talk to somebody more knowledgeable than I am about that, because I've never done it myself, so I don't know. Um, I'd say I think it would be. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but like your version of the creation kit that you have should still be Form 43, right? But I don't know how the reconversion of the meshes would be. Textures I would assume are okay. You'd still want them optimized, but the meshes themselves, I know they move from the old version to the SE special edition version. And again, I've never done it myself, so I've taken mods from LE and converted them for SE, but not the other way around. I don't know, Tim, if you're still here, is that possible, or is that just like would somebody be shooting themselves in the foot trying to do it? I'm surprised though, because LE has so much more. Like when I click on the main Nexus and I just look at the mods in total, right? From the files, was this like 22,500 versus 62,500, and you look at the downloads, you guys have so much more support. You'd be shooting yourself in the foot, yeah. See, so there's nothing like that for LE. Like, what do you consider to be the best armor replacer for LE right now? Because I'm under the impression there's still mods being made specifically for LE. A Midian Born? See, I use a Midian Born for SE. I do the tweaking that's recommended because I still think they look the best. And the only other thing that I usually use in my game is the guard's armor replacer. Other than that, weapons, armor, clothing, clutter, ace, and rustic clothing, and opulent sometimes, but not all the time. And a Midian born for the vanilla stuff, and then specialty armors, stuff that I can craft. Yeah, like I use a Midian. I think I have. Let's see if I look at my mod list here. If we go to, where is it? Yeah, right here. The armors, the blades armor patch, the weapons, the dragonborn, unique items, and then I go to common clothes and armors, and then it, like I say, I use Nordic for most of my stuff. So let's see here. Let's put some more music back on Reverie. So yeah, so I got to hear, like I said, after all the testing I've been doing, we have Ari's Snow Elf Ruins. I added this stuff back in just because, why not? Um, and I won't be using every mod in here, but I'll be using other stuff too. Authentic Legion. You guys have access to common clothes and rustic and all those. And I would assume there'd be more than just a Midian born. But I mean, as far as the vanilla um, textures go, I still think a Midian born is probably the best. It's the cleanest I've ever seen. Um, some of the replacers um, are absolutely stunning, like the Nordwar stuff, right? Um, I think the only thing I would do in that case would be just the guard's armor replacer, because everybody's sick of seeing the vanilla guard armors. What about something like Perfect Legionnaire? Use rustic and yep. Yeah, see, I do too, even in my SC game. They're mods that I can't not have in my setup. Let me see here what we're doing. Um, we'll leave better dynamic snow alone, I think. I still haven't decided if I'm using ELFX or not. I probably will. Uh, we'll have to see. Cathedral Snow and Better Dynamic Snow. Do not know. Yeah, we'll throw them in. Why not? Okay. And Ash as well. Nice small files. So we want static mesh. Snowy farmhouses. Do I want this? Those add-ons compatible with no snow under the roof. It's pointless if using that mod. I'm not using NSUTR, so we'll take it. And Ash. Already looks good. Okay, cool. There. Okay, so 63. Skyland. Okay. And like I said, I try to keep everything in as good order as I can. And I do this stuff manually, so. Um, Better dynamic ash. I believe this is an ESL. Okay. So let's change that to an ESL. So relighting an ELE. How do you like it? I've used ELE before. ELE is actually going to be in this, but I use it with the LFX. Relighting, I only time I've used that was on my Xbox. What am I doing? Oh, better dynamic ash. Right. I mean, I don't have to use like the replacers for the guards and stuff like that, but it adds the weapons in and everything too, which I do like. And they do sell for more money if you've looted a corpse that has, because some of them make them heavy. I think all the original guards armors in the game were all light armor, including the Legion and the Stormcloaks, except for the like the actual Imperial stuff. So you had Imperial Heavy and you had the Imperial Light. But for that I used Perfect Legionnaire. See, people say that doesn't play nice. And I'll do you one further because I have that combination plus TPOS and it's the lighting in the interiors of the inns. But with the patch, I don't have the flicker issue. And I like what ELE does because it darkens things up significantly, which I like. It's just to the point where I can stream it, people can see it, but they know that it's dark. And that should be the second one, yep. Files may override, of course it is. Clean out of there. Alright. What are we doing? So we have statues. I went through this whole thing. The only things I normally take out of here... oh, rustic word walls. I didn't take that. Do 2K word walls. Should just be meshes and textures. Rend shrine, setting statues, astral aspects. I'll put it right there. It is overriding the ridge stone. Okay, perfect. Stunning statues, astral aspects, and rend shrines. That's pretty much it. I don't really need anything else. Stallroom source I have. We'll get to the 3D stone walls later on. Yeah, stunning statues is beautiful. So I've been using that combination since I built my PC, those two. And they're both on Xbox too, I remember. I think Skeletor did Rend Shrines and I ported Stunning Statues, which I still have to update. I was supposed to update. Well, I was supposed to updated a while ago. Not because the mod had an update, just because I wanted to update it um, to like different settings. I never got around to it. We had too much stuff going on. Lot is fine. We went ultra here, so resources, HD LOD textures, and then my majestic. Uh, for the majestic mountains, additional quests. Quests were okay. Like I said, if you guys still have some recommendations for quests, let me know. As my phone is. Oh, give me 1 second here, guys. Hold on. Um, give me 1 second. I'm gonna put a be right back message up. Give me like 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, coming back here, guys. Sorry about that. All right, we'll get it situated here. Awesome. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. Oh yeah, the statue. I took the one with the floating cape this time. I usually take the normal one. Um, DLC. All right, so we have Legacy. That's fine. The Fate card and Painting Replacer. That's fine. Eldmeri Dominion Strengthened. Join the Eldmeri or join the Thalmor. That's fine. Um, my enemy's in there because I always put it in with TPS2. Like I said, if you guys had any other quest mods, you might want them to see. Like I said, the Second Great War may be an option. In fact, I think I'm gonna add that in now. Just want to see if there's any other patches or anything with it. Requirements. SKSE is the only one. What else? I know this has certain, like I said, I've read this a couple times, but I know there are certain requirements for this. The main quest line should be past a cornered rat quest. The Dark Brotherhood quest line should be finished, which means I would have to either way do the Dark Brotherhood quest line. Should be. All this should be done before the Civil War ends. Okay, which means do the Civil War at the end, or you could do it in unison with. You should have finished the College of Winterhold questline as well. I'm not going to be doing the College of Winterhold. He's not a mage. The Missing in Action quest, that's the radiant. Well, it's not radiant, but it's a unique radiant. Should be done if you want to do it. It's not necessary to do these quest lines. If you do not plan to do them in a playthrough with this mod, there will be no issue. Not to mention any of these quest lines. I'm sorry, no mention to any of these quest lines ever made. I only put this here because Thalmor involved in these quest lines. Okay. If you want to do a Daedra's best friend, when Falkreath is not controlled by the Dominion. If you want to complete the Forest. See, there's so many, like, is it worth it? You know? Because you're altering a lot of other quest lines. I want to do it, but like I said, I'm not sure when I wind up streaming the play, if something doesn't go the way that I want to, or hey, this character might just want to adventure for a little bit, and I may miss an opportunity to do something. Um, as far as what I've decided about the Dark Brotherhood, I'm not 100% sure. It would either involve me killing the Dark Brotherhood or doing the quest line. And since my last character, Junal, was more of a evil character, he joined the Brotherhood. This character might not be. So I don't know. You may keep your allegiance to the Imperials or Stormcloaks and defend Skyrim, or betray them and join the Aldmeri Dominion. It is possible to lose the war, giving a total of 4 endings. There are 7 missions per side. The ones you get depend on how the war progresses, but you will always get at least 4. There are also 3 side quests per side. They become available later on during the war. A few new characters for each side. See, I'm wondering if this will also... I'm worried about it conflicting with TPOS 2. It really all goes back to that. Yeah. What's it called? Blood of the Nord? Sonar? Let me take a look here. Wow. Oh, there it is, right at the bottom. Wow. Okay. Let's take a look at this one and see. Let's get some music on too. Into the Depths. This quest requires the Some Guy series SSC and Stormcloak victory in the Civil War. In the wake of Ulfric's victory, the Stormcloaks are still fighting to restart control. Blood of the Nord is a mid-sized quest mod that serves as the opening chapter in a series of plugins that explore the aftermath of Stormcloak victory, including the inevitable war with the Aldmeri Dominion. After you've wrapped up the Civil War questline with the Stormcloaks, enter Castle Dour in Solitude, and you'll be prompted to speak to Rolf, Witch Slayer, who will dispatch you on several introductory quests. Though one of the quest branches off a bit, the general presentation is fairly linear. There are no real side quests to speak of, though you can expect a handful of scripted encounters based on your choices in the mod. Minimum level is 30, recommended. 1 new weapon. No known conflicts to date. Okay, so make a case for this, Sonar. Because this character would never side with Ulfric. And that's what it looks like it says you have to do. If Ulfric if the Stormcloaks win, you have to side with them. That's how it works. And what's the Some Guys series here? Because I've never heard of this. And this is a brand new mod. This mod requires the Some Guys series. This is a brand new mod too. This is, yeah. Yeah, but see, that's the problem though, is this character would never side with the Stormcloaks. I was actually planning on doing the Civil War with him, but he'd be joining the Imperials just because of Thalmor influence. And then we'd obviously be joining the Dominion. That would, yeah. Oh, no, no, I mean, I appreciate it because that definitely gives me some more options, but for this guy, I'm not going to be able to do that. And I looked through, the obvious ones here, and I went through Northern, I went through Lexi to see if there's any additional ones. There's really not, aside from maybe doing things like, I don't know, Falscar, Dark End. So the second Great War popped up, I think it was in the next section, Moonpath to Elsewhere. That would actually be a decent one. Where is it? Moonpath here. I don't know. I'll save that for later. We'll go back to quests. I don't really want to. Let's see. What else was I doing? Economy and perks, we did that. Other gameplay, here we go. So yeah, yeah, no enhanced blood textures for this one. I'm sick of looking at square blocks and trying to sort it out. Plus it's heavy, script heavy. Organized bandits, yeah, we threw them in there because that's still compatible with TPOS2. Growl. What else am I using here? Nothing for vampires. Skyrim revamped, yes. Love this mod. Complete. And we are going to need the Wicco patch. Okay. Where are we? Plugins. Where is Growl? Okay. We'll do this. I'll leave that unticked. Just so I have a note to remind myself. Same thing with the Winter Sun patches, I've already got that. Strudel, welcome. Having first coffee. I feel for you. First coffee for me was 8 hours ago, maybe? Something close to that. Nah, maybe 6. Let's look at Junel's list here. So, secondary gameplay overhauls. Okay. What did he use for secondary? That's usually how I base it. The perks, then Andromeda, Winter Sun, Hone Metal, Circles. Okay, Organized Bandits. Okay. Because we will have both these in, so it's okay. Oh, Hoenn Metal has an adamant patch. Nice. Okay. Should be good. Hoenn Metal always looks good. Yep, okay. Right there. Plugins. This is gonna go after Skyrim Revamped. Okay, cool. Today's like the perfect day for it. I don't know how it is by you. Um, it warmed up here, and it is sunny and bright. Uh, Pretty much a clear sky. I couldn't ask for much more than that today. So let's add in sky toxins. Or sky toxin, sorry. And funny note about this is this never... I was never able to get this mod to show in my last game. Really odd. Because it didn't have any edits with anything else. And... who knows? Alright. What else did I have on my list here? Summer Mist, okay. Enemy overhaul focusing on enemy variations in hard boss battles. We absolutely want the hard boss battles. Skyrim Revamped is fantastic. Complete alchemy and cooking, yes. We will be loading this back in. I'm gonna be doing both, Will. I'll be doing both. Which means I'm gonna be putting sky toxins after CACO. See if I can remember what this is. Main mod. Download. Yep. The DLL update, yes. For the new version. Small update. Complete crafting overhaul. We need this one. Okay. We'll load that after. And then everything else is for VR, which is garbage. Beautiful. There's the DLL update. Merge that in. And then this is the temporary patch. Beautiful. So we'll put these up under, right above Sky Toxin, right? Right there. Just to keep everything nice and uniform. Travel enchantment, so we'll go right to Summer Mist and things like that. Did that really... I hate when it does this sometimes. It just bugs out on me. Yeah, I see it. just need Summer Mist itself. Open. Beautiful. So they should be the last ones before survival stuff. Or one of the last ones. You can see my plugins are starting to rise. Thank God the patches are light plugins. I usually don't, well, no. I know it's recommended, but I usually don't run into issues with it, so. The only, and maybe that's probably part of the problem, is if I use something like a left-hand rings mod, occasionally it'll show up in the level lists. Not often. I'll either get them constantly or they'll be very, very sparse. But I really don't worry about stuff like that anyway, because again, like with this character, he probably won't be wearing jewelry. If he happens upon something that's enchanted, already maybe. But other than that, no, not too much. So yeah, campfire. And I thought I had papyrus util. I do. Okay. Leave it right there. We'll have to move that down. I know I have to edit that. Well, I like what immersive jewelry adds in. Although you know I could go without it, but then I'd be using what what's it called? Gemling, I believe is the name. I think Gemling jewelry. I'm just not a fan of Scrimshaw. I'll be honest with you, I'm just not a fan of the mod. And this character, you know, even if I'm gonna roleplay him like that, a lot of the armors. I mean, I've seen the mod in its entirety before, and the mod itself is well made. I'm just not a fan of it personally. It's just personal preference, you know. Alright, we have papyrus util. Okay. Campfire. Better dynamic snow patch. Looks good. What the hell just happened to my mod list? never seen that happen before. Okay, there we go. That was weird. Alright. That's what happens when I don't pay attention. Stuff gets messed up. Survival. And of course, you know, Campfire's gonna throw that nice piracy till error at me. It always does. Let's bring this down. What was the other one? We are gonna have to load Campfire. It's gonna have to be all the way up top. Majestic Mountains. So this is, alright. I always get confused with this. Yeah, no, I know. Immersive Jewelry is technically not compatible with Summer Mist enchantments, although there's a patch for it. But it doesn't break your game, it just, for whatever reason, the patch doesn't work. If I load both those in, I'll continually get an error in loot about the two of them. And there is a patch for the two of them, and it's been something I've had to live with. So let me just read about... Alright, so this is the Papyrus Util DLL files and the plugins that are a much older version, not really needed. Delete the plugin. Hide it. Well, let's check it out and see. As for Simply Knock, I don't need that. Okay, I think I have everything done with that. The Papyrus Util there, hidden. Papyrus Util underneath Campfire, that should be perfectly fine. Okay. Who comes knocking at my door? This is Wind. Hi, Wind. I was absolutely watching you sleep. You know I'm a vampire. I was gonna say I thought Nesbitt put some more pictures up. So also for those of you that may not have been around earlier when I made the announcement in Campfire, it is pinned. So we're gonna have a competition. So this is for our server banner. So what you're gonna do is we now have a new room called ROL Banner. It is one screenshot per member. Okay, I'll go back to the rules here real quick. Um, Rules are pretty simple. One picture per member. No HUD on. Right? If your HUD is on, you are disqualified. Turn your HUDs off, completely off. If you're using it on console, turn the opacity all the way down. It shuts them off. If you're on PC, use iHUD or something to hide it. Okay? Because I don't want my banner having a HUD on it anywhere. Okay? Um, Pictures must be, it cannot be your character. It's got to be landscape and atmosphere, something scenic. Uh, you can have architecture in it, but um, the piece of architecture cannot be the focus. We're looking for something scenic, like a wood scene, um, the like coming up upon Falls Barrow. You'll have all the snow plus the mountains plus the barrow itself being the architecture. Stuff like that's okay. And then Gemma was asking earlier, is our pictures from Enderall okay? Yes, pictures from Enderall are okay to put in there. Because it's technically a Skyrim mod. It's a game, but it's a mod for Skyrim. But yes, they are okay. Um, so you'll have 1 week from today to submit your picture. Again, it's one picture per member. They're gonna go into this room, ROL banner, Rangers of Lore banner, and then myself and my admin team will be. We're gonna narrow it down to 10. Okay. So we'll narrow it down to 10 after a week. It'll probably take us a day or two to pick the top 10 that we like, and then what we'll do is we'll open up voting, and then you guys will get to vote and basically give like a thumbs up under the one you like, or like an arrow up, however we decide to do it. Um, for the one you like, we'll narrow it down to a top three. You guys will get to vote again, and whoever wins, that's whose banner we're gonna have. And the banners, um, I think Krypton put this up before. So the banner, when you come into the server, it's going to be this up top here. You'll notice right now we don't have anything. But we hit 15 boosts a while ago, and then we had issues with like members that had boosted had left, and when you leave a server, you'll lose your boost, which means you basically pissed your money away. But this is an example right here of a server banner, this little top area. So right now, as you can see, we don't have one yet. It'll probably take up, this part right here. And they're nice, and it gets the whole community involved. So make your screenshots count. Um, get a nice setup. They could be old pictures if you still have them, but again, it's got to be something Skyrim related. Enderall pictures are okay because it's a Skyrim mod. No other games. Cannot be a character. Cannot be like your character. I'd also prefer NPCs out of the screenshot, but you know, I mean, like stuff like for take this for example, I couldn't take this because he's too up close in the picture. I would want him out of the picture. This picture itself would be okay if the orc working on this wasn't there. And you can't go in and submit one and then delete it and decide you don't want it. Once you submit it, you submit it. That's it. Um, so you have a week to do so. I figured I'd mention it now, uh, just because we did this early this morning. Um, so that's about it. Um, Alright, campfire's out of the way. No frostfall. I I use frostfall like once or twice. I don't like it. Too tedious. Even on low settings, too tedious. Campfire is enough for me. And I need. Stuff like that. We're okay with those. Was there anything else that I needed to... Wet and cold, yes. And the fur hood's fix, yes. Wet and cold, absolutely. And since I won't be going crazy with the NPC merge or anything like that, I'll just be using Wicco. It'll keep it nice and simple for me. Children had some mod compatibility meshes. Install. And the fur hood fix, yep. Data. Bam. Cool. Pretty soon I'm going to be taking a break for lunch here, guys. So I may actually close the stream down and start it later on tonight. I know, yeah, I thought so too, but it's been a while since I used Campfire on my my console setup. But I haven't really used it much here. But this character, it makes sense to use it. Same thing with Hunterborn. I'm normally not the type to use Hunterborn because I feel like it's tedious, but in this particular case with this character, combine it with Winter Sun, combine it with I Need, combine it with Campfire, and we're going to slow the pace down of my leveling. So hopefully, you know, like I said, I'm using the Uncapper, which I've been running the last couple plays. Although, you know, well, you make a good point though. From what you said earlier, I may just go without immersive jewelry if I'm really thinking about it. I really should put Scrimshy on, shouldn't I? Right? Not necessarily a follower person. He'll have the wolf blood, which obviously goes against the Green Pact, but then again, I'm not going 100% by the lore. They're not allowed to take on the form of a beast or shapeshifter of any kind. But no, not necessarily a follower of Hircine. I don't know which deity he's going to start off as. I know the Bosmer gets some unique ones. I think Yfray's one. That's probably the one that I'm going to start with. It may or may not change throughout the play itself. But we'll have to see. With the Green Pact armor, I know the shrine to Yfray's there, but I don't believe it is touched by Winter Sun. Winter Sun has its own elven shrine for the Bosmer throughout the game. So unless there was a patch that was made for that, which I doubt, I'll just be using the one from Winter Sun. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to be going so far into this to tweak the race dependency. I'll just use whatever default is. I don't really, like I said, when I do my setups, I don't go in and like edit records or like make patches or anything like that. I basically just play with what I've got. There's usually a mod that will do whatever I need it to do. This setup itself is tedious enough. I could have a whole entire console setup done in about 45 minutes. I could do, because they have 150 mod max and they're only allowed 4.96 gigabytes of space. I could pretty much get that done in about 40 minutes or so and have a full, 200-hour gameplay without a crash. PC is a little bit different. I'll sit here and I'll spend days to weeks tweaking things, adding things, taking them out. Then I have to go in game and test it because of SKSE and some other things, compatibility. And then of course I'm walking around the land looking for inconsistencies, so it takes me a while to do it. Um, but even with that, like it so it allows you to disable the race dependency. Yeah, but that kind of takes away from Winter Sun itself, from what Enei decided he wanted for, for each race. Like you can still worship whoever you want through the game. It's just your starting deities. Like as an Argonian, you start with the Hist and Sithis, right? They're the only two. But I can take on the worship of whatever other deity if I find their shrine. But do I want to start them like that? I don't really think so. Maybe. I guess it would really depend, but the Bosmer have a few, so I mean it's not like I don't have options. And even with the Argonians too, only having Sithis and the Hist, either one of those is actually a pretty good starting deity, especially the Hist. So, but we'll have to see. Um, it is. Yeah, it's after 12 right here. Find the shrine. Yeah, and I mean that's probably what he'll do. He'll probably find the shrine or do a quest if he's gonna worship. But I haven't decided who he's gonna worship yet. That's gonna come later. That may not come until I'm actually in game playing, streaming it. And of course, that's always subject to change. I may change that up. he may he may worship somebody. He may worship Talus. Who knows? I may decide to scrap half the play in the middle of the play. I may join the Eldmeri Dominion just to shut them down. Who knows? I doubt I'll do that, but I mean, it is a possibility. Um, but I think that's gonna be all for now. I'm actually because I'm gonna go have lunch because I had a very light breakfast, and this will give me a chance to put some more coffee on for the afternoon here because it's a little after. Well, it's about quarter after 12 here for me. Um, so yeah, so what I'll do is I'll start the stream later on. I know Win said it was gonna be hard for her to join because she was working now, and she's 3 hours behind me, so I'll probably start up later on this evening. And in the meantime, I'll be going through this list by myself off camera, but I'll go back over stuff that I've added into the setup briefly. I'll try not to take as much time doing it. Like things like this, I have to. If I left this here, I would never have known. What the hell am I doing? Let's see, where are we going? There it is. Okay. Bam. Okay. Now we're good. So no, but they're still part of the Aldmeri Dominion. It's yeah, it's not a it's like that tentative relationship, but they are still part of the Dominion. But that quest is only open to those three races, and since I'm not an Altmer and I'm not a Khajiit, and I've been wanting to do the quest since I played it on my Xbox a couple years ago, I figured why not. So, and plus, like, I don't like playing Khajiit. If I'm gonna play a beast race, I'll play Argonian. Argonians are my favorite race. Um, and I just did an Argonian play. Uh, but I don't. Well, I haven't done a Bosmer play on PC. Yeah, and I've only done maybe one full Bosmer play on my console. So I don't really use the Wood Elf race almost ever. But I will be making use of Imperius um, for the benefits that comes from that. And with Hunterborn, yeah, I'll probably add Scrimshaw in. We'll see how that goes. Um, it's not like I don't have the space. My last mod setup, I think, was like 220 gigabytes worth of mods, and I only had 440 mods, 460 mods, something like that. So could be. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't fully decided. Maybe I'm trying to pronounce that in my head and I can't. But I'm gonna go have lunch, guys. I will restart the stream later on. I'll give everybody like a little heads up about it. 10 to 15 minute. Hey, I'll be starting soon. And then like I said, in the meantime, I'll eat lunch. I'll relax, and then I'll still be working on this, but you know, we'll come back in when there's more people available. I know it's the middle of the day for most people, so later in the days for other, and I think it's you know the future for Krypton at this point. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys later. Have a good one.